What's going on, everybody? Welcome to the stream. Little Sunday, 1 p.m. on the dot. Hangout here in Florida. Got back from a little walk. It was hot as hell. Just ate some lunch. My daughter's going down for a nap. And I'm going to be hanging out with you guys for about 30 minutes to an hour. We shall see. But hope everybody's having a good weekend, or what's left of it. Let's see. Yeah, so if you watch my latest episode of the Clone Wars, or more my review of it, you know that my daughter's birthday was on Friday, so that was fun. 2 years old. Time flies. Doesn't make any sense, man, having conversations with one another, and it's mind-blowing. So we've kind of just, had this weekend be her birthday weekend, and we've just been, playing, hanging out, playing with all of her new toys, all that good stuff. But welcome, guys. Good to see everybody. Before the stream even technically began, it looks like we had Caleb and Swishfish come in with the first super chats of the stream. Caleb, hello there. Right back at you, man. General Kenobi. Hope you're doing well. Hope you enjoyed the latest episode of the Clone Wars. I'm assuming you watched it. But yeah, we'll have to play some more Empire at War soon. Absolutely. I think we were all very rusty. I know some of us or some of the guys hadn't ever played it before. And especially if you've never played an RTS before, I'm not saying you, but there's some kind of controls or whatnot that people who have played RTSs before kind of, I think, take for granted, right? The whole shift 1 to select units or put units into groups, and then there's like just various keyboard shortcuts across your keyboard that are kind of universal on an RTS by RTS basis, you know what I mean? So I'm looking forward to playing it again, man. That was a lot of fun. But anyway, I appreciate that support this afternoon. And Swishfish, thank you so much as well. Hey, have you heard of Galaxy's Edge? It's kind of funny. I read this when the stream was starting. It's a kick-ass book series I found. It's like the author saw Star Wars and said, I can make this more grown up. So yes, I have heard of it, and the only reason that I've heard of it, and because I Googled around for, I think I just Googled Galaxy's Edge on my Kindle a while ago. Probably 2018 or 2019. Maybe as soon as we found out the name of the Disney park, I started Googling it and searching on Amazon. And when we found out that there was going to be book tie-ins with the park as well, I started searching around, and I did stumble upon this Galaxy's Edge Legionnaires book, the book 1 of this series. And I recognize the cover. It does look like a mix between Star Wars and Halo. It has good reviews, and you never say judge a book by its cover, but I love the cover of this. I don't really know anything about it. It looks like it's free on the Kindle if you have Prime. It looks like, at least.
Hello there.
It looks like it. But yeah, man. I'm currently reading Alphabet Squadron, so maybe in the future I'll check it out. But yeah, man, I appreciate that. Let's see. Geez, guys, I thank you so much for the support this afternoon. So it looks like Daniel, Guts, Samuel, and Vince. Thank you guys so much. Daniel Ambrose says, happy birthday, baby Greedo. Well, she's about to go down for a night nap, but I'm sure she would say thank you, because she's a very polite little girl. But yeah, man, it was fun. We had a big family party planned. Obviously, we canceled it because it would have been a lot of grandparents. And we don't want to be responsible for getting everybody sick, right? Making our house a petri dish. Don't want to do that, but we made it fun. We still put all the decorations up, played with her toys, and after she wakes up from a nap today, a little bit from now, if it's not pouring down rain, I'm going to be blowing up this giant inflatable pool that she got for her birthday. It has a slide on it, and you hook a hose up to it, and it has fountains that shoot up. It's going to be fun. So hopefully we'll be able to do that later. It's supposed to rain, but hopefully it's just one of those passing Florida showers, But yeah, man. I appreciate that, Daniel. And Guts216, thank you so much as well. Guts216, extremely generous this afternoon. Guts just says, hello there. Hello there, right back to you. Hope you're having a good weekend, man. Thank you so much for the short and sweet little channel support. GUTS Guts 216. I appreciate that, man. The only reason I said that is because we do chants like that with my daughter. I've become a big kid. But Guts, thank you so much for the generous super chat this afternoon, man. Kick back, hang out, and enjoy the rest of your weekend. And Samuel Jensen, I really love this episode of Clone Wars, and the action was pretty good. I'm a bit sad that we saw Obi-Wan and Ahsoka leave each other on a bad note. Yeah, I'm sure that I was going to say maybe that will be resolved. We don't really know. It's kind of, what happens in this episode things might revert in the next episode, and, every episode compounds on itself, so maybe Obi-Wan and Ahsoka will come together and maybe discuss what is going on with Anakin. Maybe they'll both voice their concerns to one another, and we'll see. Or maybe Ahsoka will completely take Anakin's side at the very beginning of the chaos until she finds out what he does, But it's not a bad thing that they leave off like that, right? Sad is an emotion that you can have, or when watching a show or a movie or something like that. You can feel bad for a character's actions or the way characters left one another, or that a character went down a wrong path, right? You can feel bad. That's a natural emotion to have, one that we have in the real world. And it adds depth, right? It adds depth to the show. This might be the best episode of the Clone Wars out there that I like, at least. I loved the way that they reintroduced Ahsoka to the crew, to the clones, to Anakin, to the Republic. I loved how it was kind of a reminder to the audience that she, in her absence, everybody missed her. In her absence, like maybe the clones missed her leadership, and we see how appreciated she was by those around her, even her subordinates, But I loved it, Sam. I'm extremely excited, as it just seems like Star Wars fan base, the Clone Wars fans, everybody's buzzing about this last episode, right? And it's kind of funny, like, people were bitching and moaning about the two previous arcs. It's weird to me because, as I've said before, it felt like normal Clone Wars to me. Sure, there's going to be some dud arcs that don't really hit you. The Clone Wars, in its 120 plus episodes, is ripe with episodes and arcs that are just like meh. I mean, I don't know what people expect. Sometimes there's just things that don't hit you. Doesn't mean that, it's lost its way, or Dave Filoni is rejecting everything that George Lucas has taught. Fucking idiots, dummies, reactionary dipshits. Oh, I love it. Anyway, Sam, I appreciate it, man. And Vince Wynn, fun/lame question for everyone. Which Star Wars character are you? Are we going to take a little quiz here? Which Star Wars character are you? What? Everybody answer in the chat. All right, everybody answer in the chat. For me, let's see. What Star Wars character am I? I'm not going to take the test yet, but I feel Luke. I feel Luke is kind of the answer. If I would, before I take a questionnaire, I would say Luke. But I'm going to scroll to start, and I'm gonna take this little test here. Yeah. All right, let's see. There is a multitude of Star Wars films. Which do you like the most? A New Hope. Okay, that's selected. Scroll to the next question. If you get into a scrap at Mos Eisley Cantina, who do you want watching your back? Poe, Chewbacca, Grievous? I'm going to go with Han. With so many movies and so many characters, it's not possible you like every single one. Who's your least favorite character? Newt Gunray, Watto, Saw Gerrera, Anakin Skywalker. Out of those four, I would say Newt. You need a droid to help you through the Star Wars universe. Pick one. I'm going to go with C-3PO. He's my favorite droid. Not everyone speaks English in a galaxy far, far away. Who had the coolest sounding language? R2-D2, Chewbacca, Jawa's, Jabba. I've always liked Jabba's language. There you go. Oh my god, this is a long-ass questionnaire. Holy shit. This is insane. Okay, I'm not doing this. There's like you guys see, I'll do this later and I'll post the results. How about that? What planet seems to be the best place to build a home? Naboo. There are some tough women in Star Wars. Who's your favorite? Leia. I'll continue this through the stream, okay? And at the end, I'll give the answer. But yeah, Vince, I would say Luke for me. I would say Luke. You know, curious, pulled to adventure, wanting something more. I think we can all relate to Luke, especially young Luke. And when we were young, right? So anyway, Carter Lovejoy, thank you so much as well. Let's start a GoFundMe page to have Lucasfilm make a holiday special 2 for Disney Plus and let Tommy Wiseau have full control of it. No. Holiday Special 2 would be fun, Carter, as a fan film. You know what I mean? I cannot believe that has never happened before. Like, nobody's attempted to recreate or make a sequel to the Holiday Special as a fan film. That being said, it would be fun to do myself. It would take a long time, I think. Maybe. It would just be, oh man, I could do it just as lame as the Holiday Special. That's not a bad idea. Maybe I'll do it. But I think if a GoFundMe page was created to make a Holiday Special 2, I would want the internet to unite and just say, hey, let's stop raising money for that. But Carter, you might have just given me an idea to make a really goofy Holiday Special 2 fan film that is endlessly lame this holiday season, but we shall see. Anyway, Lego Star Wars fan 77. I greatly appreciate that, man. Do you think the sequel trilogy had no roadmap? You know, I would say that, you know, with episode 7 and 8, with The Force Awakens and The Last Jedi, there was cohesion there. There was a natural progression, I felt, at least. And then The Rise of Skywalker came around, and it felt like a monkey wrench into the gears. So I would say that I think they probably had a general idea of where things were going. Maybe there were a few different ideas of where things were going, and maybe some of the ideas were eventually scrapped post-Last Jedi. I really don't know, man. There was cohesion and coordination, so it seemed, from episode 7 and 8. And then, like I said, episode 9 just kind of felt like a hard right turn into the ditch. You guys know how I feel about that movie. It didn't really do much for me. It's one of my least favorite Star Wars movies. But, so yeah, I would say maybe there wasn't a complete roadmap from beginning to end. But that is kind of the case with especially the original trilogy. You know, 3 different directors. A lot changed. You can read some of the drafts of screenplays. A lot changed. A lot was added, especially after A New Hope, especially from Lucas's original drafts and what he originally saw Star Wars as. So, you know, I don't see it as a complete negative. Maybe it would have been nice to have some cohesion at the end of this chapter. Maybe there was, you know, and it just doesn't feel like there was, but, who knows, man, who knows? I don't necessarily, maybe things could have been plotted out better, but you look at some other franchises, you look at the history of Star Wars and how the prequels were made and how the original trilogy was made. I think the idea that they were all planned out, and coordinated from the very jump, is maybe people not paying attention to the history of all this shit, and maybe being a little wishful thinking, and maybe putting some negativity on the sequel trilogy that they're looking for, if that makes sense. But anyway, I appreciate that, Lego. And Caleb Kemp, also Clone Wars, holy crap, thought of you when the Lucasfilm logo came up, haha, but man, that episode was freaking amazing. The Clone Wars is best Star Wars. That episode was some of the best Star Wars that I've ever seen. No question about it. The very beginning with the Lucasfilm logo coming up and the theme blasting in as the Clone Wars logo slides in. It was just a very, you know, as I'm sitting there with my headphones on at 5 a.m. watching the episode, in the darkness, it was just kind of like a moment of, wow, I feel like I'm in the movie theater. You know what I mean? But hell yeah, it was fun. Definitely one of the best episodes. Hoping it gears into one of the best arcs that we've seen It really had everything that I personally love about the Clone Wars. You know, a more mature, older, steadfast leader in Ahsoka, Anakin. I don't know. It was great. Some real world parallels with treaty breaking and getting tugged into various conflicts. Obi-Wan being skeptical and wary of all that. So yeah, man, I loved it. I'm really looking forward to the rest of this arc. I think we're all in for a really fun ride. Let me answer a couple more of these questions. Who is your favorite non-human, non-droid in the universe? Admiral Akbar, Chewbacca, Darth Maul, Yoda. Golly, probably Yoda. The Jedi have had some real ups and downs in the history of Star Wars. Who was the best of the bunch? Mace Windu, Obi-Wan, Yoda, Luke. I gotta go with Luke. On the opposite end of the spectrum from Jedi is a Sith. Pick your favorite user of the dark side of the Force. They have written down Dark Vader. Vader is my kind of nostalgia pick. I love Kylo as a character, though. I'm gonna go with Vader. You want a lightsaber, right? Pick your color. Green. There are some big beefy monsters in Star Wars. Which one was the coolest? Sana, Aqua Monster, Sarlacc, Space Slug, Rancor. Rancor. Did Greedo shoot first? Yes. Oh, no. No. I read that wrong. They had the wrong picture. There's no doubt that the Millennium Falcon is the most fantastic ship in Star Wars. What's the second best? X-Wing. The X-Wing should be first. All right. I'll answer more of those later. But I appreciate that, Caleb. And Tony Mario Golden II. How you meet your wife? Oh, we've known each other for a long time. Actually, well, first of all, thank you so much for the channel support. Yeah, we've known each other for, we're both, I'm 33, she's 32. So we've known each other probably since we were 17, and we knew of each other. We didn't, but we reconnected when I was 22, 21, 22. Yeah, 22. I was 22 when we reconnected. So, we went to school together, didn't really hang out, didn't really know each other too well. But then we just kind of started talking. Right after I got out of boot camp, just kind of started talking and catching up, and been together ever since. So, yep, been together for almost 12 years. Almost 12 years. Married for 6. But, yeah, it's been fun. Now we have a kid, man. Now we have a kid for 2 years. She just turned 2 on Friday. And it's been a fun ride. So yeah, I appreciate that, Tony. Yeah, nice. I'm gonna rob you, HelloGreedo, since you're rich. You really think I'm rich? Like I have a YouTube channel. I upload once or twice a week. I wish, man. If you only knew. How come for HelloGreedo's channel list there is Channel Awesome, Jack? I've actually been on Channel Awesome. Did their top 5 list a while ago. I don't really talk. I talked to Walter. So how come? I don't know. I used to watch them all the time, and on my channel list there's some stuff that I used to watch a lot of. I don't really watch much YouTube anymore, but that's how it goes. What happened to Vader's castle after Return of the Jedi? I have no idea. No idea. No idea. If you could change one event in Star Wars, what would it be? One event, Rex? One thing that I would change, I think, in just kind of the entire scope and scale of Star Wars would just kind of be a focus on the prequels. It would be Darth Maul dying, or not dying, but surviving in the prequels, right? Sure, he survives technically. He's brought back in the Clone Wars. I've never been a fan of character resurrections. You guys know that. It just kind of feels cheap fan servicey. That being said, I do like Maul in the Clone Wars, but just big picture, I think it's just kind of weird. I don't like character resurrections. Boba Fett, Darth Maul, Palpatine, it does nothing for me. But I think it would be neat to have Darth Maul be the main adversary through the prequel trilogy, and because I feel like he would have been kind of fun to watch and explore through that prequel trilogy. Kind of a more focused villain. But yeah, that's just me. Eric King, thank you so much for the channel support as well. Best order to watch Clone Wars episodes. I've only watched it in chronological order, right, Eric? That's the way I would recommend it personally. At first, when I first looked at watching the series, it was a little daunting. I was reading a little bit about the series, and people had a various recommended viewing orders. And when I found out that a lot of episodes were kind of not in a chronological order per season, and sometimes like an episode from, I could be wrong about this, but just as an example, just kind of a hypothetical, an episode from like season 4 could tie into an episode from season 1, and it would just kind of like jump from timeline to timeline. It kind of felt a little confusing to me at first, just glancing over what the show was a couple years ago, That being said, it seems like the further you get into the seasons, the more chronological it does become. That being, well, yeah. I mean, there's a few things. I would recommend chronological order. It worked for me in my horrible memory. I could focus on arcs, and I could focus on, a linear story, and it just kind of made more sense to me. I'm sure a lot of people would recommend the release order, probably because they watched it in release order when they were growing up, and that is just as good, if not better, than chronological. But I have no idea, man. I would, maybe I'll throw up like a poll or something like that on Twitter, just out of curiosity, if people would rather watch it chronological or release. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, man. Eric, I would recommend chronological, but then again, I'm completely biased because that's the way I watched it. Yeah. All right, let me answer a couple more of these questions. Star Wars Story, thank you so much. Let me answer a couple more of these questions on this Star Wars character quiz thing. Which trilogy is the most fun to rewatch? The original. Which Star Wars death was the most tragic? Han Solo, for sure. There are with context, maybe Vader would be with context, with Clone Wars context, but I'm gonna go Solo. There are because there was another kind of father and son thing, and you felt that pain. Ben, there are a whole lot of force powers you can use if you're skilled enough. What's the best one? Force lightning, force illusion, Jedi mind trick, telekinesis. Probably the mind trick. Be a little smart. All things being equal, who's the best actor from the Star Wars movies? Ewan McGregor, Carrie Fisher, Liam Neeson, Harrison Ford. Shit, I personally think, well, I think the best actor that we've ever had in Star Wars is probably Adam Driver. But, I mean, Luke's performance in The Last Jedi might trump it, But out of these four, if I have to pick, Ewan McGregor, Liam Neeson, Carrie Fisher, or Harrison Ford, maybe Liam Neeson. I don't know. I'm thinking Schindler's. Have you read any Star Wars books? Of course. If you were down for a little Star Wars cosplay, who would you go as? Captain Phasma, Darth Maul, Vader, Kylo Ren, Vader. Which character do you think was the most blatant attempt to get kids to buy toys? Ewoks. Have you ever stood in line to buy tickets to one of the movies? Yes. Next to Star Wars, what's the best franchise that involves aliens? Men in Black, Star Trek, Predator, Star Trek. All right, sorry. Star Wars Story, I'll get back to that quiz. That's a long quiz, man. Star Wars Story, thank you so much. once again. Hello, old friend. Been a while. Needing your wisdom. Pick a name for Star Wars / other films discussion channel. Sith Station, Think McFly, or Think McFly Think. Oh, I like Think McFly Think. Oh, that I like that Star Wars story. Think McFly. That's... So out of those three, Star Wars story, out of those three, I love Think McFly Think. Think McFly's good. But the whole phrase is Think McFly Think. So yeah, that's a good channel name. I really like that. You could have a little George in Biff. I don't know. Yeah. I love that, man. That's a really cool idea for a channel name. Whatever you're going to talk about, movies, games. But if you're going to talk about movies, I can picture the logo almost like an outline of George McFly's face, like his nervous laughter face, in a big circle, and very minimalist, like outline drawing of George McFly nervous laughter face. I think that would be good. So yeah, Star Wars story. That's my answer. Think McFly Think is a cool channel name. Make it before somebody steals it. Make it quick. But yeah, I appreciate that story. Think McFly Think. Nice. Let's see. I wasn't sure if Think McFly Think was too much. No, I don't think it's too much at all. Dude, there's channel names that have way more characters, way more words than that. Think McFly Think is a cool, TFT. Think McFly Think. It's catchy, and I think, if you want to condense it, just do Think McFly. But I think that is kind of on a good track. I really like it, man. Aiden Janney, thank you so much for the channel support this afternoon as well. Aiden says, best aspect of the Clone Wars overall. For me, there's a few things. One of the things that was so surprising to me, before I started watching the Clone Wars, there's so many things that I kind of knew about in the periphery, right? Like the Night Sister witches or Ventress, that I knew nothing about, and just I never even saw the Night Sister witches. I didn't really know anything about them, and when I started watching the show, I was pleasantly surprised because it was interesting, and I ended up liking it way more than I thought I would. My expectations were under the floor. But that being said, so it's fun to be surprised about things that you were very wary and iffy about at the beginning. But one of my favorite things about the show was having let me take this off my computer. There we go. Was having the clones be individualized and have personalities that you kind of give them individual characteristics. Something that I never thought would be in the show. I thought the clones were just going to be masked people with that you never really got to know, and just kind of like the prequels, right? But I love the way we get to know the clones. We see their brotherhood. Domino Squad is still one of my favorite arcs. I love the camaraderie that we feel. So that's one of my favorite things about the Clone Wars overall, just how surprising that was to me. Coming into the show, not knowing shit about it, and not expecting that, being surprised by it. But also I love kind of the real world parallels that it presents. There's episodes that kind of discuss proxy wars, the Jedi Order or the Republic basically funding rebels and fighting these proxy wars without actually getting involved themselves, or episodes where banking clans are involved and money is exchanging hands for war profiteering. There's a lot of real world parallels that are really interesting, and I've always kind of found I've always appreciated in the show. It's another layer just from being a kid's cartoon. It adds another layer to it. But yeah, man. So yeah, and also Ahsoka. Ahsoka has been another pleasant surprise, especially. I made a video a little while ago called "What People Thought of the Clone Wars" and Ahsoka when it first came out. I think that's what it was titled. And I spent a couple days just going through the Wayback Machine and reading forums and finding quotes where people liked it and people disliked it. The majority of people on these forums, did not like Ahsoka, and it was really interesting to kind of gauge people's opinion of this character within the first a month of the show existing, right? And I get it because when I started the show, you have this scrappy kid, and yeah, sure, she can be annoying at times, but dude, over the 7 seasons, that's what's interesting. She evolves and she grows and she becomes a steadfast leader and she has a good head on her shoulders, and that has been one of the more interesting and fun things to witness in this show, But anyway, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, let me answer 2 or 3 more questions here. Okay, the next question is: in comic books, the Star Wars universe has had some brushes with our other universes. Which crossover sounds coolest? None. Can I not? I see what it is. Star Wars, Han Solo, Indiana Jones. There you go. They can't all be winners. What's your least favorite Star Wars movie? Out of these 4, Phantom Menace, Return of the Jedi, Force Awakens, Solo, A Star Wars Story. I'm going with Solo. Out of those 4. Which scene do you think is the greatest scene in the entire franchise? Luke Skywalker's death, the destruction of the Death Star. Luke discovers Vader is his father. Kylo Ren kills Han. These are great scenes. These are great scenes. But I'm going to go with Vader as his father. I think that's just kind of default. Who deserves their own spin-off movie? Porkins, Boba Fett, Darth Maul, Yoda. None. I'm going to say Porkins. All right. I'll get back to that. Sapity, thank you so much as well, man. General Greedo, you were a bold one. Hope your daughter had a happy birthday. Should The Mandalorian Season 2 make references / hint to the Siege of Mandalore? Yeah, and well, first of all, thank you so much. It was a lot of fun. She only popped 1 balloon. I was really surprised. She's been just digging into balloons. There's 25 balloons littered all over the bottom floor of our house. And she's only popped 1. And what sucks is there's confetti inside of the balloons. And when she popped it, confetti just went everywhere. And I thought, we thought that she was just going to go around popping them all just to get confetti out, but she didn't. It's kind of surprising. But yeah, anyway, it was fun, man. And I appreciate that. So if the Mandalorian Season 2 is going to reference stuff, that's all I wanted to do. I don't want, I'm still wary of Ahsoka being in the show. I still want the show to be just full of characters that we don't know. Stories that we don't know, characters we've never met, So yeah, I think that would be pretty neat. Just to have not necessarily any kind of deep mention of it or account of it, even, but just kind of maybe mentioned in passing of the history of these people and how certain things and they have happened on their home world and whatnot. So I would be very surprised, Sapity, if there was not a mention, a nod to the history that we're witnessing in the Clone Wars right now. Should it mention it? No, but I think it would, whenever Star Wars stories kind of tie together in very, very subtle ways that aren't overt and hey, remember this, then it can make the universe feel connected, as long as it isn't, rubbed in your face and obvious, like I said, hey, remember this, if that makes sense. But so yeah, I think it would be a nice nod. I do. We're watching Siege of Mandalore, and then we're gonna have Mandalorian Season 2. So some kind of mention, even if it's just, couple lines, think it'd be good. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, Sapany. Let me take a quick sip. The Gungan Lord. Thank you so much as well, man. The Gungan Lord said, "Hey, Greedo, so far, what is your favorite Season 7 episode? Keep up the good reviews. P.S. Would you like to see Dave Filoni Revenge of the Sith animated?" Dave Filoni Revenge of the Sith animated? Oh. Is that... I've never even thought a full-length feature film animated Star Wars by Dave Filoni. I guess we have the Clone Wars movie, but... So Gungan, first of all, thank you so much, man. My favorite episode of Season 7 so far is the most recent one. I liked Bad Batch arc. That was fun. I thought the characters were fun. I liked, how they butted heads with the regs, as they called them. That was a lot of fun. I actually liked the sisters arc with Ahsoka. But really the only thing that I liked about that arc was Ahsoka learning more about the fault of the Jedis and learning kind of what people think of the Jedi or forming an opinion of the Jedi from an outside source, right? I think that is what was interesting to me about that arc. Ahsoka is able to kind of take herself out of the mindset of the organization and view the organization that she was a part of for so long through the eyes of others. I like that. I like that because when you're in something, when you're in, I guess the best example is like a cult or like a religion or a movement or some kind of ideological group, then you can't see the faults of that ideological group if you're inside of it, for the most part. It's only when you kind of escape or you can recognize maybe what the faults of it. But so yeah, the most recent episode was my favorite for sure. It kind of just had everything I love about the show wrapped into a nice, hey, how you doing, welcome back, so I appreciate that, Gungan. And yeah, I mean, why not? If he was already making that, sure, let's get it out tomorrow. But the thing is, I would rather the effort. Gungan, I would rather the... one sec. I would rather the effort go towards making something new, If Filoni is going to be a part of something, which he is, obviously, I would rather, Revenge of the Sith has been made. Yeah, just leave it there. I would rather the effort go towards making something new rather than animating a Star Wars movie that already exists, if that makes sense. So, yeah, I'm always pushing for new, right? New. But, Gungan, I appreciate the hell out of that, man. Let me take a sip of the water real quick, guys. This is not a Corona cough. This is a wrong pipe cough. Star Wars Story. Thank you so much as well. Once again, man. Star Wars Story says, "Thanks, dude. I'd be lying if I said your book had nothing to do with that channel name idea. I've been brainstorming names for days. Then it just hit me." No, I love it. That's probably one of the reasons that I actually really, really dig that channel name. For those of you who don't know, he's referencing kind of the opening, and I think I mentioned at the end of the book too. The opening of the book, I basically talk about George McFly and the mindset of George McFly,
For the love of the Force,
one
don't
sec.
go to the beach. Also, Ahsoka is easily one of the best characters in Star Wars. As an older Star Wars fan, it's wonderful to see such deeply impacting stories.
John Patrick Alexander, thank you so much, man. Give me one sec. I got Star Wars Story, George, Star Wars Story, and then John. I appreciate that, guys. So yeah, Star Wars Story, that's probably one of the reasons that I really, really dig that channel name. And like I said, if somebody's wondering what the hell he's talking about, I did write a book, just kind of, worked on it for a little over 3 years, just here and there, life stories, time in the Navy, being a dad, couple little sprinkles of Star Wars in there, my thoughts on YouTube and clickbait and video games and movies. It's all over the place. It's called Sorry About the Mess, and it's named that for a reason. But yeah, man, I appreciate that Star Wars story. And George Heilman, I thought about getting the new box set until I found out they're using the McClunky edition. No thanks. Yeah, like even if they, well, obviously if they had the original versions, right, I would buy it. The thing is, like, even man, I just can't justify. I'm not a collector. It would be different if I had that like collector's mindset, and like I needed to own stuff. I don't collect anything. I don't buy Star Wars stuff. If I did, I would get it probably. But I can't justify spending $250 on a box of stuff that I already own. You know what I mean? I already own all of those movies. Yeah, there's behind the scenes stuff, but I probably never go through it. I just don't have that desire. And like, but if it was the original versions, pre-special editions, as close as it could be, I might be prone to spending that much money just to get an official copy of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, man, I have zero desire to buy it. Just you know, I own the movies. Sure, it's awesome that a lot of them are they're in 4K, I guess. But I would rather buy them individually in 4K. Get that OT 4K unaltered. I'd buy that for $100. But yeah, man, I agree. You know, as I said, I don't collect anything Star Wars. The only stuff that I've bought since the acquisition by Disney, like in 2012, was a Black Series Kylo Ren figure, a die-cast metal Stormtrooper, and that's it. Other than, like, you know, the movies. That's it. I don't collect anything. It's weird, but yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that, George. Let me answer a couple questions here. If you want someone tracked down, you need to hire a bounty hunter. Which one of these do you trust? Boba. I'm just going like default answers, right? What side of the Force are you using? I don't need to use the Force. I'm a smuggler. There you go. Not everything is fun and games in Star Wars. Who's the creepiest character? The Emperor. Let's see. Oh, I got Luke Skywalker. There we go. That was it. I got Luke Skywalker. I said Luke Skywalker, and I got Luke Skywalker. There you go. We feel like you're 100% Luke Skywalker. You have a goodness... cheesy shit. Nice. So I got Luke. All right. I got Luke. Anyway. In Star Wars story, once again, HG, do you have a fan postal address yet? I want to send your daughter a present long after the pandemic ends, of course. She's old enough to bear arms, right? Sure, what are you going to send her, a Mossberg? No, I don't, man. I don't have a P.O. box or anything like that. I've never, I've thought about getting one from time to time, but I'm trying to take on less stuff and do less stuff, and I know it sounds weird, but I barely have time. I would barely have time to drive to a P.O. box, if that makes sense. Life is super busy. Maybe in the future, really, honestly, maybe once my daughter goes to school, I'll look into figuring out how much a P.O. box would be a month. It would probably be pretty quick. Maybe a couple weeks before I get notes that just have like a big fuck you and like a photo of a butthole mailed to me. I'm sure that would happen instantly. But yeah, man, maybe in the future I'll get one. It is something that has been brought up quite a bit over this channel's existence, and I've never seriously looked into it. Just because, yeah, I don't know. It would be cool, but it would be one thing if if I shipped stuff from a P.O. box too. But all of my shirts are just from TeePublic. They do everything. All my books are from Amazon. They do everything. Yeah, the only things that I ship are like posters, but I think I took that sale link off of the website just because I don't really have a things have changed since we moved and can't really do that anymore. But yeah. Anyway, I appreciate that Star Wars story. If I ever get one, I'll let everybody know. John Patrick Alexander, thank you so much as well. For the love of the Force, don't go to the beach. Also, Ahsoka is easily one of the best Star Wars characters in Star Wars. As an older Star Wars fan, it's wonderful to see such deeply impacting stories. So yeah, I'm not going to the beach, man. Like the as you guys, I think it's just Jacksonville, isn't it? It's weird. Like I live in Florida. I live in Jacksonville. They open the beaches. We go to the beach all the time. It's my favorite thing in the world to do. It's the reason I would never want to move out of Florida. I love going to the beach. I love going to the pool. We go as much as we possibly can in the summer when all this shit isn't going on normally. For the first 33 years of my life, basically pool, beach, every day that we can. But I'm not going now. Yeah. I mean, like, I get it. I get people being stir crazy, but come on, man, just go for a walk. I don't know. I don't know. You probably have a friend. That has a pool if you live in Florida. Just go to their pool, right? Just go to their pool. The beach will be there. Just wait. I mean, I get it, but I went kayaking a couple weekends ago. Me and my wife did. Whatever, we didn't see but one person, maybe two people, somebody fishing and somebody in a boat that was fishing as well. And they are 50 yards away from me and you wave. I have no problem. I go outside for about 2 or 3 hours a day with my daughter. We're playing outside. I go on a 4-mile jog, and we walk to a creek and we throw stuff in the creek and, but I'm not going to the beach where there's a bunch of people walking around. I don't understand why they opened them. That's the kind of thing that makes all this shit jolt back. When you make some progress and then you think you're safe and you open things back up, I can see things going terribly again. But yeah, man. So I think Ahsoka is easily one of the best Star Wars characters too. Just and her character benefits from quantity of Clone Wars, if that makes sense. So the Clone Wars itself, it benefits from the quantity of episodes, but it also is kind of like it's one of the negative sides of the show too, because you have a lot of great arcs and a lot of great episodes, but then you have a lot of bad stuff too. But Ahsoka is a good example of like how you can spend 7 seasons with a character and have them evolve. She's a great character to follow. She's a great character to spend so much time with and see change over time. So yeah, she's one of my favorite Star Wars characters. And before I watched the Clone Wars, I knew nothing about her. It was just a character that I saw a picture of, and I knew people liked her. And I didn't really get it until I watched the show, But anyway, I appreciate that, John. And Star Wars Beyond and Aiden and Kernek, did I say that correctly? Kane. Thank you guys coming in with the final super chats and channel support of the stream before I jet. Star Wars Beyond says, "What's up, HG? Happy Sunday. How's quarantine?" Well, happy Sunday to you as well, man. It's good. We're fine. The only bummer, like I said, is living in Florida and not going to the beach. My wife's grandma has a pool. We know friends and family that have pools, so we haven't utilized them yet. I think we're a little wary to go over to because they're older, and I don't know, man. Yeah, it's been fine. We've gone kayaking. We play outside with my daughter all the time. My daughter got a big inflatable pool with a slide and some fountains on it and stuff like that. So we're gonna inflate that later this afternoon. and let her run around and play in that. So it's good, man. Not much has changed with our day-to-day schedule with all of this. My wife works in the medical field, so, you know, she's just going in her normal time. Nothing's really changed for her. Obviously, things have gotten busier. For me, I'm still working from home, doing channel stuff and watching my daughter. The freelance stuff is on hold because the companies that I did freelance stuff aren't currently doing anything. So we shall see. But I have a plan. A couple months, I'll be doing something new and different and fun, working towards something that I've always wanted to do. I'll let you guys know when it happens, but anyway, I appreciate that, Beyond. And Aiden, once again, thank you so much, man. What are your thoughts on a High Republic new Star Wars? So, Aiden, golly, sorry. I'm really looking forward to it. I feel like it might not be something that I'm going to be extremely interested in. You know, I've always said that when I think of Star Wars, I think of kind of the nitty gritty. I think of smugglers and blasters and, you know, kind of bounty hunters, the seedy side of things. The High Republic sounds kind of Lord of the Rings-y. Jedi who are kind of steadfast knights and do-gooders. I'm sure there'll be a lot more nuance to it and conflict there. But right off the jump, I'm the only reason that I'm curious and somewhat excited for it is because it is an entirely new, unexplored timeline, you know. And I think that is what I've always wanted in modern Star Wars, right? I want new timeline. You know, we have Old Republic stuff, even on most of its legends, if not all of it. We've explored the OT era a lot in modern Star Wars. I've been wanting, you know, Star Wars eras, characters, and whatnot that we had known nothing about. And that is the only reason that I'm really curious and kind of pulled towards it. Is it going to be good? Who knows? I hope so. Is it going to be more than just a publishing effort with books and comics and stuff? Who knows? I kind of hope so. I think it'd be fun to explore that era in film. But yeah, man, I'm excited. Really just because of the new factor, right? And like I said, off the jump, what it's about, what it depends. I guess, I don't know. It depends. There's some big event that happens from what I remember that sends the Republic pushing its boundaries and territory outwards through the galaxy instead of being what I would maybe consider isolationists. So maybe it'll be a pretty interesting story that is deeper than what I'm thinking it will be, you know. But anyway, Aiden, I appreciate that, man. And Mr. Kane, thank you so much as well. What's your opinion of Duel of the Fates? Would you have liked it more than Rise of Skywalker? Also, have you seen the fan-made trailer by Scoundrel Media? Much love. Scoundrel? No, I definitely haven't. I don't watch much YouTube anymore, man. Scoundrel Media. All right. Star Wars anime? Duel of the Fates. Oh, one day ago. He made this Star Wars anime? Teaser trailer, Duel of the Fates. No, I've never seen this. Okay. Is that what this is? Teaser trailer. All right. Let me see. 5 months ago. Okay. Did he draw these anime clips? That's impressive. If that's him, it's not a re-upload. So what's my opinion of Duel of the Fates? You know, I definitely would. Man, I can't say that it would be better or worse, right? I've already kind of like done a mind dump of what it all was. I think maybe it definitely would have brought more cohesion and been more in line with what I would have thought was a more interesting direction for the the sequel trilogy to go in. What kills everything for me in Rise of Skywalker is the idea of Palpatine being back. I mean, you guys know I find that to be the most just unimaginative, boring creative decision maybe ever lobbed and tacked onto Star Wars. So I think maybe I would have liked it better just because that didn't exist. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I don't really have any deep opinions on it. I'm not one to kind of dwell on what could have been. It's why none of my videos are ever like how it should have been, or what would have made it better, or, how it should have ended, or that kind of stuff. Because I don't really think like that. We get the stuff that we like, and other creative people make the things, and you either like it or you don't like it. You talk about why you like it or don't like it, and why would I give a shit? Why would I try to micromanage what somebody else did and try to figure out what would have made it better? Whatever. I'd rather make something else. So yeah, would it have been better? Maybe. I think I might have liked it more just because of that lack of, Palpatine and just that entire creative decision. But yeah, man. Anyway, I appreciate that. Caretaker Wanted coming in with the final super chat and channel support of what was going to be a 30-minute live stream, what ended up being an hour and 1 minute live stream. Caretaker said, where did it go? Caretaker says, do your best Palpatine impression. Oh my god, this is I can't even think of what would I say. Let me find a quote to say. Palpatine quote. Let's see. What's a good quote? It all started with joining the dark side. What? Betrayed to kill the master. No. So be it. No. Let's see. This is good. No, that's not gonna work. Mr. Jar Jar Binks. I can do a decent Jar Jar. I cannot do a Palpatine. So, how does it sound? So be it, Jedi. Let's see. So be it, Jedi. Let's see.
Jedi. So be it.
So be it.
Jedi.
Jedi. So be it. Jedi.
Jedi. So be it.
So be it. With a big emphasis on the t.
Jedi.
Jedi. Jedi.
So be it.
So be it.
Jedi.
Jedi.
So be it. Jedi.
Big sharp, like, mouth movements and enunciation and, like, emphasis on consonants.
Jedi.
Jedi.
So be it.
Interesting. Anyway, Caretaker, I hope that sufficed. Anyway, guys, I appreciate it. So be it. Jedi. Nah. But anyway. All right. So yeah, no stream tonight. Tomorrow is what? Monday. I will be streaming tomorrow night, probably 7:30 p.m. Eastern, around then. And then Tuesday, I will probably do a long-ish stream in the afternoon. But yeah. Anyway. All right, everybody. So to whoever super chatted this afternoon, thank you guys so much for supporting the channel. To everybody who played around in the chat, thanks for playing around in the chat. To everybody who watched the stream without saying a word, I appreciate that too. So, it is time for me to jet and blow up my daughter's big inflatable pool. Go have some fun. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your morning, your evening, wherever the hell you are on planet Earth. And I will catch you all on the flip side. See ya!